and we're going to get started. Today, we're going to talk about business planning. Before we get started, of course, this month we're talking about being generous, which is one of my favorite things to get to do. I like that. And something that I've realized over the years, people walk by you and say, you have a gift for that. That's something that you don't have to think about to do right. That's why it's a gift. That's not talent. That's a gift that you should be grateful for. And that's something that's stuck with me since I learned that. Some people struggle to be generous and struggle on other things that I don't, and I struggle on things they don't. And it's great to have something that comes naturally and easy, and that shouldn't be a prideful thing that's a gift to you. You should just be glad that you can get something right without it being hard. We did donate $2,000 to the Kentucky tornado victims in Eastern Kentucky. I was told by our cappers when we went over our budget. I told them what we'd done the previous year, and they said, we had no idea we were giving like this, and you need to start telling. So I'm now telling. We did it. So congratulations. This comes out of the company dollar because of the money that you guys work hard to get in there. So thank you, and thank you for helping others. In that light, we are doing something a little bit different for 2022. Every monthly meeting, we will give $1,000 to a charity. Each of our top 5 producers for the previous month will let us know their favorite charity or charity of choice for that month. The charity can be chosen more than once by multiple agents. So if collectively they say Kentucky tornado victims, then it makes it pretty easy. The charity will be chosen randomly by a digital spinning wheel, and the agent must be present for their charity to win. You got to come to the monthly meeting. If our monthly income goal is not met, we will not sacrifice Malia's salary for the charity drawing. We will skip that month. So we're gonna pay our staff before we pay charity. Make sense? Good plan? Good plan. So it looks like this. This month, we will spin the wheel. Isn't that great? Yeah. So that's what we'll be doing, and I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be a fun way for us to benefit others. We are currently at 93.3 million. So we have blown our goal away of 85 million by almost 10 million. Felicia, do you have any idea where we stand? Are we going to hit 95? Are we going to? We'll hit 95. Stellar. Blowing our goal away by $10 million. That has put us in and kept us in the top 20 of firms in Northwest Arkansas. Being a 4-year-old firm, that is ridiculous and amazing. Just absolutely crazy that this has happened this way. Thank you. You guys really should be proud and excited about that, and excited to be a part of that. I'm really grateful. That's amazing. A big thing about that, of course, is our people. And when you guys are out there being cheerleaders for your company, talking about how you love it here and what's changed in your life because of it, that benefits us. So thank you guys for doing that. That's really something. We'll keep going. We had our top producers event at Pinpoint. We had a great time there. Me and Travis tried our duck face stuff. I think he's better at it than I am. And then we had our Christmas party at Rhonda's Roadhouse. It's a little dive in South Fayetteville, and we had a really good time there. Food was good. Even we were very pleased, and we'll probably be going back to Rhonda's Roadhouse for events.
More pictures to come too.
More pictures to come. All right, good. So something that I love about this that was an epiphany to me at Rhonda's was when you're the owner of the company, you know, I wanted to make sure that I spent time with everybody. But the cool thing to me, what I saw there was you guys really didn't need me. You guys were really enjoying each other, and we're really family to each other. And that's beautiful. That's wonderful. And I'm grateful for that. I think that's so cool that you guys come together so well like that. And it really speaks volumes that we've got the right people involved. And
Everyone is really easy to be around.
pretty cool folks.
It's really nice.
Pretty cool folks. Yeah. So let's get into it. Business planning. Here we go. Business planning means that you're living on purpose. And in Ninja, one of the ways that you identify yourself as a Ninja realtor is that a lot of times you cannot differentiate when you're at play or at work. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm looking at Blake over here. He loves coaching. He's a football coach. And it reminds me of the Ninja story where a fella came to Larry Kendall and said, I just can't seem to build my sphere. And he said, well, tell me about your week and what you do. And he said, well, I like to go to my son's games, and I can't remember what sport it was, so we'll just say it was football. And I love going to my son's games and being a part of that. And I love taking pictures of that. And Larry said, well, why don't you just become the team's official photographer and start making sure the parents that have children there get copies of their photos of their child, and make sure you reach out to them and give them those photos, and you'll build some friendships and build your sphere. That guy just turned into a superstar agent just because he was sharing photos from the practices and games. What an incredible way to build your sphere. Looking here at Jeff, he's got a great opportunity with his work that he does with the VA, and he knows it. And you don't walk in there and talk about how you're a realtor every time you see everybody. You got to have class and not be a vulture. But he's out there and he's talking to people and he's doing things. And as he creates relationships, he'll drop them on his database and live on purpose. Now, when I say live on purpose, one of the things that we need to make sure that we're doing too is that we care on purpose. When you have your database, Rebecca was going over hers. I think it was yesterday morning when I saw it. And she's marking her boxes, and the boxes that she marks are, have I done a real estate review for this person? Have I had a face-to-face with them? Have I sent them a handwritten note? Have I Ford called? Those are the boxes that are there. And as she's going through her year, she's marking those boxes. Well, you can't do that unless you do it on purpose. That's not a natural thing. After you talk to somebody, you don't go sit in your car and naturally pull up your database and click until it becomes habit. Then you review your database and say, who do I need to talk to now? And that's when a lot of agents start feeling like they're being manipulative. And that's just not true. That's just not true. There's no manipulation because you're not talking about real estate. You're just caring for people and doing it on purpose. When you see their name on your database and you say, I don't want to talk to them, you probably need to take them off your database. They probably don't want to talk to you either. There's probably something there that doesn't get along, that doesn't meld, and you're not the right person for them. And guess what? That's okay. That's okay. Rebecca's Ninja instructor, when she went to her installation, not the right teacher, not the right teacher at all. And she comes back and I'm starry at it. I'm like, isn't he great? And she's like, eh. Not the right teacher. Very businessy, very power person. That's not, Rebecca's not a businessy power person. She's a power person, but she's not businessy like that. She's very comfortable, very easy to approach, very fun to talk to. And this lady was not. Were there other people in the audience that needed that type of person? Absolutely. Absolutely. But we've got to live on purpose. If they don't belong on your database, take them off. If they do, care for them on purpose. And that's good. People that get hung up about that, it's really interesting to me because they also want to be cared for. They also want people to care for them. They think that should just happen naturally. Well, sometimes you just have to do it on purpose. Sometimes you just have to. Do you have a relative that it's just not natural for you to keep up with, but you love them? And every now and then you're like, I have to call them. I've got to do it. It's time. That's same thing. You're caring on purpose. It's fine to do that. Next, I want you to print out this calendar and I want you to mark in red on it days off. If you don't plan days off, you will wind up like me. And you won't have any. It won't happen. So on the 5th through the 9th, my calendar's red, and I am going to New Orleans with a trombone, and I'm going to have a blast. So do that. That's part of your business plan. Who is the most important person in your life? Felicia, who's the most important person in your life? Me, right? No. Your kids? Why? They rely on you. You got to make sure they're okay. Do you get joy in that? You know, a lot of joy out of that. So really, maybe you're saying the most important person in your life is you. Joe, who's the most important person in your life?
I'm legally obligated to say my wife.
Okay. Yeah. Do you benefit from that? So maybe it's you. And if you're not taking care of you, it's the whole mask drops in the airplane. Put your mask on first thing. If you're not taking care of you, you're not going to take care of others. The most important person in your life is you, and that's not a selfish statement. It's just true. Who do you think about the most? You. What do I want to do? What am I going to do today? What's my to-do list? When am I going to go get? And it sounds so selfish. It's not. It's just true. Take care of you. Mark these days off. I'm preaching to myself. Rebecca's over here with an eyebrow.
I heard a quote that said, self-care is not selfish care. Yeah. And that's
Right.
a really cool way to live, you know, because yeah, if you're not a good you can't be a good friend, employer, mom, husband, wife.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you couldn't hear her in Zoom land, Malia said, self-care is not selfish care. And I think that's wonderful. We are sticking to Ninja. And if you want to implement other things, we have no issue with that. But what I've found in past brokerages is the more we implement as leadership and show you different methods, the more confused the crew gets. So we stick to Ninja and what we teach, and let's see what Ninja can do for you. With that in mind, we have a 21 analysis and a 22 goals business planner. It is now in the drive. And I will show this to you. I'm hearing the whispering and I'm wondering what's being said because I don't know if they're whispering to me.
Oh, no, I'm.
You're hurting. So we see here, number one's our buyer docs and tools, seller docs and tools, real estate reviews. And now we have a number 4, which is business planning. This is the progression in what you should learn, how you should learn things. Business planning, we're going to come in right here, and here's our annual business planner. Here's your calendar right there. And what I want you to do is I'd like for you to print this. You've never heard me say that. I'd like for you to print this. It's a 31-page document. I'd like for you to go ahead and print it, put it in a binder, staple it, whatever. And I'd like for you to go through this. Of course, it's up to you whether you do this or not. The questions that are in this, if you don't know the answer, I would like for you to highlight. When you highlight those, you have created something amazing because now you actually know what you don't know. Make sense? So as you go through this and as you make your plan, highlight the things you don't know, answer the things that you do know, and you're going to be able to really hone in on how you want to run your business. When you highlight the things that you don't know, here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to show up at my office doorway and say, hey, I've got this. I'm going to tell you straight up, just because I'm a blunt guy, that's so rude. That's so rude. Set an appointment with me. I'd be happy to talk with you. But interrupting somebody else's business that way, it's just not the right way to do it. Don't stand in the doorway and wave it proudly, because I will stop and I will help you. And when you leave, I will have to completely reset my world and my button. And also, you won't get the best me. And I want you to get the best me. So make sure you set an appointment. I will help you. It will be grand. We'll get it done, and you'll get a lot of clarity on what you need to do from there. What were the highlights of 21? What would you change? Are there any types of clients or transactions you would avoid? How smart is that? Isn't that good? Step 2, you're going to set your goals. My whys. What's most important to me in my life? Where do I see my business in 3 years? If you haven't taken time to decide your why, that's going to be extremely powerful for you. We had a hard time getting down to Rebecca's why when she started. And part of that could be that the person guiding her on that was married to her. But it was hard to just be like, oh, that's why I want this. I want some travel money and freedom. I want that. Okay, let's make that happen. Let's figure that out. What does that look like? Because now we have a base to go from. For me, my why is financial legacy. That's my why. I do not want my children to have to work as hard as I've worked. I don't want them to have to build something like this. I want it to be there for them, and so on and so on and so on. That's my why. That's what I'm driven by. And our whys don't line up. So for us to do this together, we kind of have to do it separately because our whys aren't the same. What's wrong with that? Nothing. They need to be different. Otherwise, we'd lose our house because we travel all the time. It's a different why. So you're going to look back. What have I been doing? What do I want? What do I need to do to get it? That's what that whole business plan is about. And look into that. Some of it's going to pertain to you. Some of it's not. Some of it you're not going to know. Highlight that so we can talk about it and see if it's important to you. But that's going to be a great way for you to get your business planned out. In addition to that, something very, very important in knowing what to do with your business is knowing what you want and need. This is also in the drive. This is in the drive as a numbers document if you're a Mac user, and as an Excel document. Do not edit this in the system. Download it. It is an extremely thorough budget planner. Extremely thorough. It includes wealth planning. I left in wealth planning to put $1,000 in if you're married, put 1,000 in. If you're not, put 500 in for an IRA. If you're going to save money, that's a great way to save it. That's tax-free money going in. So if you're working on savings, that's one of the ways I would recommend you be doing that. You can change that to anything you want to. These blank lines here, you can enter in anything that you want to. All of these are suggestions, not necessaries. And then we get to, do you want to do an 8 and 8 this year? How many households do you want to do that for? Do you want Smith and Associates to send your auto flow out automatically? Let's say your goal this year is $200,000. How many households do you need in your database? 200. 200. Well, we know that postcards are 63 cents a piece, and the newsletters are $1.05. So it's $2.31 a household, and that's going to total for the year $5,500. So this is lining your business right out. It's really making sense of what you're going to need at the end of all of this. Well, and I've got your realtor dues already in here as well. Some of that is stuff that can be changed. If you're not going to donate to RPAC, I have a really big question why, because it's a tax credit. You get that money back at tax time. Your phone bill, of course, you want to put that in. Flow, spending $100 a month on sitting down and having coffee with your face-to-face, or buying them lunch, something like that. That's not enough for my face-to-face meetings. It's not enough money. But change that to whatever you want. Real estate review, printing, postage, if you mail those, stamps, and stationery for your 2 cards, just suggestions. Giving is there. And then it gives you a total, your total expenses before a feel-good account and taxes. And then if you have other sources of income, that goes in there. You get your totals. It will give you a percentage of what you're spending on what. So your housing will show your percentage. It's good to know what chunk is going where. As you bring checks in, you may create separate accounts for each chunk and just put that percentage into each one. So you're planning. Even better than that, in my opinion, is keep your real estate funds, your income from that in an account. If you're producing enough, keep your real estate funds in one account and then pay yourself a salary into another one. And that gets yourself on a budget. And that way, when you do hit a big win, it's not everybody's chance at home to go buy what they want. You've kept yourself on a budget. That changed our lives when we started doing it that way. Then you've got your non-taxable expenses, which your giving and your business expenses, that goes in right here. So you're not getting taxed on that. You plug in whatever tax rate you want to here, and then it will show you your estimated taxes that you'll need, and add those to your total expenses to come up with your required gross. Make sense? Then you'll want to add in your feel-good account. Do I already have a feel-good account? Is there enough money in it? If not, how much needs to be put in it to make it right? And how many months reserves do I want? And then you'll get your total number there. So if we were to say, you know, this is a $20,000 gross income required to meet budget, I want to have 6 months reserves. 6 months of that is somehow 8,000. Oh, that's because it doesn't include the taxes. So 8,000 reserves. You put that back, means you're going to save for a year almost 700 a month, and you'll have that, and there's your goal. So a great way to get an understanding of where you need to be, and easy. If you have problems with the spreadsheet, all you have to do is click equal, and then this plus that, and fix whatever cell you want to fix. If you need help with that, of course, we can help you, but very easy budget sheet, very extensive, makes a lot of sense. If you set up a budget without setting up financial goals, what do you think you're going to perform at? What you need. Most realtors, just like most hourly workers, perform at what they need. That's hard to break out of. The first step to doing that is saying, okay, this year we're going to save $40,000 so we can create a down payment for an investment property and put it on there. When you see your monthly need, you quit focusing on 40,000 annually is part of that monthly need. You stop focusing on that. You just focus on that monthly goal. And it really helps snap you out of that, because what you focus on expands. It really does. So great stuff there. Make sure that you know what you've been doing, what you want, and now what do I need to do to get it? Well, the average sales price in Northwest Arkansas is sitting around 320 right now. 3% of that, let's just call it 9,000. 7% of that, 70% of that is your income. How many of those do you need to do to hit your goal? Once you get to a certain point, you know that the company's made their 20,000, so you've capped. Just do the math. It's not hard. And you'll know what you need. You'll know how much you need to produce. This is the process most of us want. This is the process most companies want when you go to work at a salaried or hourly job. They want your production just to raise, right? That is very unhealthy. Also, how many of you got started in real estate and the next week got a check? Nobody. This is more what it's like right here. Down here at the bottom, you actually see it dip because you've spent money. And it feels bad. Has anybody ever felt bad in real estate before? Right. So this is the process that we get. We get that dip, and then if we continue to work the process, it goes up. What does that create? Burnout. That creates burnout because you tell yourself, well, I sold 5 million this year. Next year, I'm going to sell 7. And the next year, I'm going to sell 9. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Why? This is a sustainable this is sustainable progress. This is something you can hold on to. If you want to buy a boat one year, put a blip. Put a blip. Do it. It's fine. Bring it back down after that if you want to. If you put the blip in and you say, you know what? I was able to sustain a healthy lifestyle while I did that. Feel free to keep it there. That's up to you. But if you don't have your why and your want, then the process and the progress that you're going to work on is going to create complete burnout. I am not going to sustain my business at where I went last year. Last year, I had some lofty goals. We completed those. I'm not doing it again. I'm not gonna. It beat me up. I'm tired. It was hard. It's not sustainable. Don't do it. That is sustainable. It's fine. It's good. It's healthy. Build your life. Have you ever heard of a balance wheel? Joe has? Tell us about a balance wheel, Joe.
You basically have to, whatever you have on this side that you want to achieve, you have to put on this side. It's kind of a sacrifice, but and you do that across the board, so that balance on one side of everything you're trying to get, the other side is everything you have to do.
Okay. Another very similar method of that is that you put the things that have to be done in a wheel and draw a line out to each one. And then you grade yourself on each item. And as you grade yourself on each item, let me see here. I've got one for you. Thought it would be super easy. That's how many things come into my email at a time. And come out of this, back to Zoom so I can make sure they can see behind me. All right. So when I did this last, it was with Terry and a group of ninjas that I'm working with. You really can't see that from home, so I'm sorry. But I closed my last deal about 2 weeks ago, my last deal for the year. And Terry wanted us to talk about how we're doing on our Ninja 9. And what she wanted us to do was she wanted us to rate ourselves on our morning routine, which is wake up, say your gratitudes, write your affirmation, and exercise. That's your morning routine. And she said, for the last week, just go ahead and rate yourself. And I went right here. And she said, okay. And then for getting to work and making sure that you are doing your paperwork before you get interrupted for the day, making sure that you're reviewing your hot list and warm list, writing your cards, showing up, and being there on purpose at your office. Where do you rate yourself right now on that? And I marked myself right here. And she said, okay, and writing your cards, and I marked myself right here. Hot list, and I marked myself warm list. Client calls, 2 RERs, 50 live interviews, and update your database. And that's where I belonged. And I felt just fine about it. You know why? Bill, why? Why did I feel fine about it?
You did this last week,
Yeah,
so you met your goal for the year.
I did it on purpose. I was taking a break on purpose. There was no guilt in that. There's no shame. Yeah, that's what my week was because I wanted it to be. Now, have I met my goal? Surpassed it? Is it the biggest goal I've ever had? Yep. How do you feel about taking time off? Great. That's fine. That's fine. Now, this is more like what everybody else is we're doing. They'd say, okay, morning routine. I'm getting up and I'm saying my affirmations and writing my affirmations and saying my gratitudes. But I'm not going for my walk. So I'm going to say I'm at about 2/3 for that. Showing up, yeah, I've been getting to the office on time. Writing my 2 cards, you bet. Hot list, yeah, I did that about half the time this week. Warm list, it's the holidays, and I really should be reaching out to people that I know are hurting or are experiencing great joy, but I really haven't been. So I'm there on that one. Client calls, yeah, I called everybody that's under contract. We're good there, and I called everybody that is a current listing. 2 real estate reviews. It's the holidays. You know what? I really don't want to interrupt people, but I did do one. So, well, I guess that's more 50% than half or than a third. So I'll mark it there. 50 live interviews. Like I said, I'm really not making those warm list calls. So I did talk to some people. Update database. No, I didn't do that. Now, if this were a wheel that you drove on, how would that ride?
Still lumpy.
It's bumpy. It's bumpy. That's a rough ride. That's not fun. That's your business. That's your business. That's how your business is operating. That's a clear picture of if your business is running smooth or not. And what we think we want our business to do is, and we think we want it to do this right now, even if we're brand new, we think that we want our business to do this. Right? Doesn't that look good? For a kindergartner drawing a circle? Not too bad. That's what we think we want. But I'll tell you what, if you're new, really, we want to see something more like this. And then maybe next month, something more like that. We want to see that happen. Now, in order for that to happen, you've got to have some practices in place that you do daily. You might not make 50 live interviews because your database isn't big enough. What do you have to do? You've got to grow your database. You might not make any client calls at all because you might not have any clients. That's okay. You review your warm list? Yeah, I reviewed it. There's nobody on it. Well, you've got to make your forward calls so you get to know people better and know what's going on in their life. We make those forward calls to find out what? To scan for pain or pleasure. When we scan for pain or pleasure, we understand that, oh, they got a promotion. they got this great promotion and they're experiencing a lot of pleasure. They really could have a need for real estate in the future. They're expecting, they really could have a need for real estate in the future. They're getting married. On the flip side, they're getting divorced. Somebody died. They got fired. Pain or pleasure create a need for real estate. We take care of them while they're on the warm list. While they're on that warm list, we care for them genuinely, and they may never have a need for real estate. However, if they do, we'll be the first to come to mind because we gave them genuine care. At that point, they go onto our hot list. So you can't just jump into that. That's where that drop and then incline in your business comes from. That's what that's about. So it takes time. Had a guy do a write-up on me on Facebook. He was an agent here that came to one meeting and stuck around for maybe a year and then left for another brokerage. And he did a write-up that said all that brokerage did, and he didn't name us, so that's nice. But all that brokerage did was tell me to take care of my sphere. They didn't help me at all. And I thought, I bet you didn't do it. I bet you didn't do it. Matter of fact, I 100% know they didn't do it because I sold somebody a house that told him to come work with me. If he would have kept up with them, he'd have had the deal. Anyway, that was frustrating. This wheel is also in the drive. You can use that anytime you want to. I would use that as a quick Monday morning agenda. Where am I at with my business? Where do I need to grow? It's a very quick review of what you did last week. Of course, the Monday morning agenda is more extensive and it's in the drive. Again, this is something that as you go through it, if you don't know things, highlight them and come and ask. Set a time with me and we'll get some training done. The Ninja 9 is sitting right there. If you don't know what these are or what they do, highlight it and come and ask. I'll help you. And then you've got your Ninja Week right there in the drive, telling you what to do each and every day that you can mark off and knock out of the park. So it sounds like that's not something that would make you money. That's not true. The highest income ratio per agent in the nation is sitting in Colorado, and this is what they do. And success leaves clues, so we might as well do it. Let's get back to the presentation. So we know, thank you. We know what the balance wheel is. The balance wheel is, we know that this isn't necessarily something attainable immediately. Matter of fact, if you look at this and you say, I'm happy with the progress I made, give yourself a 10. I don't care. Just be honest with yourself one way or another about it and smooth out your wheel. When your wheel is bumpy, you're making bad cookies. What I mean by that is you've left out an ingredient. Have you ever used baking soda instead of baking powder? On accident. Salt instead of sugar. You can't substitute. Have you ever left out flour when you've made cookies? Absolutely not. That's silly. Same here. You can't leave things out. You've got to do the recipe. This is going in the drive, and this is something that I think is a good quick gauge as well. You can rate yourself on your morning routine, show up, 2 cards, hot list, warm list, customer calls, real estate reviews, contacts, and update your database. And it just gives you a graph to the side. Again, we think that what we want to see is this. let me show you on your activity. Really, that is a great way to start. I got up, I did my morning routine, and I went to the office, or I went to my space where I do my work. I wrote my 2 cards, but I don't have a big enough database yet to write more than 2 in a week instead of 2 a day. I looked at what a hot list and warm list is, but I don't have anybody on it yet. Gave myself a little something for that. I don't have clients right now. I did call the people that talked about real estate a little bit and followed up with them. I didn't do any real estate reviews, but I did do a practice one on my house. Give yourself a point. Why not? I don't have a big database, so I called who I could, but because I'm seeing that the issue is that my database isn't that big, I worked on my database. Give yourself a 10. I added names to my database. Good, good. That's where your focus needs to be when you're growing your business. Does that make sense? Then you can do these activities. Then you can make those happen. Something that happens a lot is we get interrupted. And the biggest part of this, in my opinion, after taking care of yourself, because you're the most important person, right? Do your morning activity. But after that morning activity, show up. And what happens with us when we show up is we lose our agenda. Let's look at this. Oh.
Dr. Daniel, Mary Daniel.
Even though I laugh it off,
And
it's
say-
probably true. Because when all my closest friends were out partying, I'm busy here
Mhm.
making all the music that they party to. How many of you have ever made a decision based on the fear of missing out? FOMO. It controls our lives, from what we post on our grid to where we go with our miles. We end up living the life we think others expect of us, rather than the life we truly want. We go to
Actually
parties,
have an appointment with her.
we go to work parties when we want to sign up. We say yes,
Okay,
no, and we say no when we really want to say yes. Now, don't get me wrong, we don't need to disappear, but we can trade parties for intimate gatherings. Not going out doesn't mean we can't be around people. We will love people we can have fun
I
with, have a
and how about yourself?
into a deep, meaningful conversation. Spending time with them one-to-one, face-to-face can deepen that bond. We can trade nights out for knowledge seeking. Sometimes we just need a break from it all. According to WebMD, we genuinely need that necessary me time. And most of us don't give it to ourselves because we feel guilty. We end up saying yes to a million things that we would have rather said no to. We need to give ourselves permission to choose a book over the bar. We need to give ourselves permission to choose a podcast over the pub. And we need to give ourselves permission to choose to learn so that we can know how to live. We can trade chasing money for creating purpose. See, what we all do is we trade time for money. But guess what? You can't trade it back. Money can never buy time. And purpose can't be bought either. It's one of the most sought after things in the world. But if you looked at the way we used our time and energy, you'd never know. We can trade using our time badly for using it wisely. 56% of us are so scared of missing a message, a text, a social media update, or an event that we're glued to our phones. So much so that we check them over 150 times a day and miss what's right in front of our eyes. Give yourself permission to invest in your vision. Give yourself permission to put down your phone. Give yourself permission to invest in your mission. Give yourself permission to stay inside on your own. It's what we call the joy of missing out. Trading fear for joy is what it's all about. So when the world is attracted to that latest temptation, You focus on inner peace and self-realization. When everyone around you is trying to see it, trying to have it, trying to do it, you know you just won't go through it because it's like trying to feed a beast, a hunger inside that will never cease. Instead, you enjoy the loneliness, the meaning in your emptiness. You find the answers on your shelf with others and with yourself, without a regret, without a doubt. It's called the joy of missing out.
I love that perspective. I have started when I show up to put my phone on do not disturb to get through my activities. You can drop that sucker into airplane mode and get a lot done. You can close your Facebook tab on your computer and get a lot done. And what's amazing is that all of the calls and all of the text messages and all of the Facebook messages are there when you come back. You didn't miss anything. And you reply as if you just saw it, and everybody is fine. Everybody is fine. And you were able to stay on your agenda and get your stuff done and feel good. And it's now called the joy of missing out. And I love that. I love the joy of missing out. Rebecca knows I love that. No, I'll just stay here. It's fine. So get through this planner, print that out, and get that together. It's going to teach me what you know and what you don't know. It's going to teach you what you know and what you don't know. And then we're going to be able to help you do more. Make sure you know what your financial goal is for the year, and we'll help line that plan out. Make sure that you know how many households you need in your database, and we'll do that. But we're going to do that the Ninja way. We're going to talk to you about your flow. We're going to talk to you about your auto flow, which is your mail outs, your 2 postcards and newsletter. And that's how we do real estate. And we keep up with our sphere. Any questions? Everybody feel they have clarity on how we're moving forward and what we're doing? Good, good. Sir? My goal for next year, the firm goal. I have not decided the firm goal. I know the firm budget, but budget and goal are different in my head. So I've not decided the firm goal. My personal goal last year was 13 million. This year is 7. So we hit some big things last year, and or 21. And so my personal goal is 7. And at 7, it still gives me room to save for another down payment on a rental. So it works for me. And if more comes, I'm not going to turn it down, but what you focus on happens, and that's what I want. So yeah. Does anybody else in here have their goal for production for next year? No? Okay. You will, if you work through this, you will. Please don't forget, mark those days off. Be intentional, live on purpose, make it right. Otherwise, you're making money. You're not in abundance. Being abundant is very different than making money. And this year was not abundant for me. It was hard. It was really, really hard. I'm really looking forward to coming up out of my hole in 2022. It's going to be a good year for me. Yeah. Favorite thing we went over? We'll come back. Favorite thing we went over? Budgeting spreadsheet. You like the new format? Good, clean format compared to the little boxes. Yeah. Yeah.
Boxes is great.
Malia.
Jay Shetty. I love him.
Yeah.
He's my favorite. I watch him all the time.
Yeah. Joy missing out.
I don't love Facebook. I mean, I So it's easy for me, but my daughter and everyone around me is glued to everything. They're so afraid to miss anything. So this is just a good reminder. I love it.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Care on purpose, the parents and those people in that place, and family members that you still like.
Cool. Yeah. Care on purpose. Rachel,
Enjoy this.
you like it too? Yeah,
I need it.
you need it. I need that joy. Bill.
I like the details in the spreadsheet. Really, just all the little mention.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll line you right out. It will.
I like when the wheel had that traffic food cooking thing on it.
Yeah. Now, something that I plan on doing for 2022, because 21 was so hard on me, is I plan on putting that out for my spiritual life, for my home life, for my music. Am I living a balanced wheel? Not just is my business balanced? And
I like that. One of my favorite symbols is.
yeah, very cool. Very cool. Jeff?
Yeah, a couple of things. I like looking at the Ninja 9 from a wheel perspective and I also can't think of this business plan.
Cool. Very cool.
I'm ready.
Go.
Okay, the dip and then the plateau progression.
You like that?
Sustainable.
Be sustainable. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and get that blip if you want something new, but bring it back down so you can be happy, live an abundant life. Let's see who's out in Zoom land. We got McGregor. McGregor, what was your favorite part of the meeting? How long have you been here? I don't know.
I've been here the whole time for
Awesome.
you talking and for Sue and her doctor's appointment. I like the wheel. The wheel made sense
Awesome.
of, where you at.
We got that from our favorite person, Miss Terry. She put that out there and I thought, man, my group needs to know about that. Yep. I don't know. Miss Sue, are you available to chat?
Well, I am sorry. I talked about my doctor's appointment.
I was just messing with you.
We love you anyway. No
But
problem.
I enjoyed the whole meeting. Thank you.
We enjoyed having you. We did. All right. No meeting next week. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And we will see you on Tuesday in January. And I'm not remembering which January. Yeah, we might not have a meeting on the first Tuesday of January. We'll probably do our meeting on the 11th. We'll put out a notice and let everybody know though. What's that, Joe? What's that?
The date.
Oh, 11122. Yeah. All right. That's it, gang. Thanks so much.